Hello, everyone, and welcome in today to this action-packed episode. If you love true period antique jewelry, if you love platinum and diamonds, you are in store for a show today. As everybody knows, my name is Jason Adams. I am a proud silversmith, a photographer, an eBay reseller since 1999. I have been doing antique shows for a very long time. I was an auction advisor. I do appraisals for museums. I do appraisals for private collections. And today I dug deep for this video inside this amazing, amazing early 20th century bronze and mother of pearl box. This is by Tiffany and Company, and inside this box is a remarkable collection of some of the most beautiful Edwardian platinum jewelry that I personally own. I've always been attracted to the Edwardian time period. Most specifically, between 1900 and 1915 was my greatest affection for the design of platinum and diamond jewelry. This box is just incredible. Look at the detail of that inset mother of pearl. The glow on those stones is just fantastic. And before you ask yourself, how is it in such good condition? I did replace one of the mother pearls, and it took me 2 days to shape it and get it in there so nobody could tell which one it was. And I've actually lost track of which one it was. So there we go. On to the video and the contents. We will take a look at the back of the box to see the Tiffany Studio mark. And on the inside, there's some layers amongst this, so please stay tuned. We'll start with this Joseph E. Caldwell, internally flawless, 7 carats of beautiful diamonds in platinum, signed by J. E. Caldwell. Joseph E. Caldwell was a competitor of Tiffany and Company at the time. Anytime you see this tiny little hallmark of that J, E, C, and then Company, that is the inventory code on it. Anytime you see that JEC mark, that's Joseph E. Caldwell. Make sure that you at least study it and pick it up if it's reasonable. This brooch is some of the most beautiful, internally flawless diamonds. They are almost colorless, putting them possibly in origin in the Golconda mines, which were very important for some of the world's finest and whitest diamonds that were ever produced. And this brooch is just incredible to have that many carats of such beautiful stones. This brooch would be circa dated right around 1915. This would be around 1915. Some people might say it sure looks Art Deco. No, it's most certainly not. The Edwardian skill set of this, building these constructions of this platinum that is so beautifully crafted. And look at the azuring on the back of this, where they opened up those mountings in almost a square shape to allow those stones to just scintillate beyond words. These are absolutely remarkable pieces. I believe that the current retail replacement on this one is around $15,000. And it's very difficult find to locate these in such remarkable quality, and the craftsmanship of the platinum was just exceptional. I thank you so much for joining in today and taking a look at some of my most prized collection when it comes to platinum and diamonds. Fine jewelry, but you know I didn't stop at anything for my collections. I also love Mexican silver. I love Bakelite jewelry. I love designer signed costume. I love oil paintings, bronzes, leaded glass lamps. I love fine art in general, anything that is unusual and distinctive and handmade, or the best of example, much like this brooch. Absolutely exceptional. Again, right around 1910 into 1915, maybe as late as 1918. Look at the scintillation of those diamonds. Very large. They are transitional cut between old European and modern brilliant. So they are slightly transitional in their proportions and in their faceting, but the scintillation and that deep push and pull of the spectrum really spoke to me on this specific brooch. I loved seeing that open work with the platinum, these tiny little foliate scrolls as well. I've shown this brooch before in some of my previous videos, so if you like what you see, by all means, please go back and check out some of my old videos to really help push out my information into this virtual land of YouTube. This one is one of my favorites for Edwardian. I absolutely love this brooch, right in the heart of 1915, 1910, 1915, possibly into 1918, but most certainly before the 1920s. And the heavy-handedness of Art Deco. Look how they opened up that diamond lace. Look how they opened up that filigree by hand, completely sawn out and fabricated by hand in solid platinum. I love the attention to detail on the undercarriage of those little drilled out pieces of tubing that hold that sidewall intact and in place. When people ask me, how do you know it's platinum? Look at the solder seams, look at the condition. Also, these are not signed. This one is not marked platinum. It's a very gray metal. It's very heavy. It's very dense. And oddly enough, it's 15 times more rare than the most precious of gold. So it's 15 times more rare. And absolutely resilient when it comes to craft and design. When I saw the profile of this brooch and I saw this internal nature of very ornate without being overly done and so focused on that large navette-shaped diamond, really incredible. I absolutely love this brooch. So unsigned, but in my mind, definitely American. Let me set these outside of the box. Let's get into this next layer. And I thank you so much again for joining in and for all of your patience. Let's move these up and get these out of the way so I don't drop anything today, because a lot of times, I get into a panic in these situations with these videos. A pendant necklace. And the reason why I show this is right around 1915 into 1918. Again, filigree, 14 karat white gold, absolutely original as a drop pendant. You will find these as brooches and pins. Not quite as desirable as a pendant, but look at the way they graduated these early European cut diamonds all the way up and spaced them so beautifully. And of course, an odd number, 5, because that's what works. That's what works on a design, is an odd number. And look how that looks on that deep red, how that just jumps out at the viewer. I love Edwardian jewelry. And I've always been a fan of very fine work. As a silversmith and a trained jeweler, I did look at the history of jewelry over the last 30 plus years in my career. I let it influence my work. I let it make sure that I was crafting things beautifully. My rings of choice today is this one and also this one. I would show you my bracelets, but I just don't have the time. This one is a beautiful Edwardian diamond ring. And I can't begin to tell you how excited I was when I found this. I did buy this at an estate sale. I have had them similar. I probably have sold, in my time of doing this, I have probably sold upwards to, 100 or more of these such rings in the Edwardian era. And every single time I've had them, they sell very quickly. They're getting more and more difficult to find. The values on such pieces are up because there's personality here. When we talk about lab-created diamonds, there's something very clinical about them. There's something very predictable about them. They don't carry an energy of a previous owner. They don't carry the millions and millions of years that it took to create them. There's something missing there. There's a void there. I appreciate them for the advancement in technology, but they most certainly don't enter my collection. and stay and stay. But European and old cut diamonds just have such a property and such a life all of their own. They perform differently than contemporary cut stones, as you can see in this example. And look at that low profile of the craftsperson of over 120 years ago to put this together so lovingly in platinum and to make sure that those scrolls are so finely done. The open work is beautiful. And let's get in a look at the inside. Look at how that stone is, all that is finished from the inside so beautifully. Again, I talk about that undercarriage construction. Look close at your items. Make sure that you're looking at the craft of the way things are put together. These are timeless, these are important, and they are very beautiful. This ring on the retail level, because of the size of the center stone, these now go for around $5,000 to $6,000. And those are sure to go up over the coming years, just because the appreciation of true antique jewelry will always be there. I just know it in my heart. That is not going to change. And again, it's always about supply and demand. The demand is high and the supply is fixed. The supply is very limited. And then look at the two of these together. I've yet to look at them together, but look at the story that ensemble would give to the wearer and to the viewer. It gives great joy. It gives great pleasure. And the brilliance of these stones, I keep going back to that every single time. I'm so glad that you are still here with me. Let's go down one more layer, and then I think we only have one more piece in the very bottom to discuss. This is 14 karat yellow gold, and why I show this is I showed this in one of my lives just recently, and there was such a response to this that I promised to bring it back into a long feed video and to get it close up in the light box. So hopefully all of you that have seen it in the live feed that I did, hopefully you're here with me. I really hope so. If you're not familiar with my lives, we have a lot of fun. I get emotional. I get hilarious. I get heartfelt. So please go over to my tab of live videos on YouTube and scroll down and make sure that you hit some of my live feeds as well, because I do give a lot of information that's very important in those feeds that may assist you in your thrifting or antiquing. When you're out and about, maybe you'll hear that that little guide on your shoulder and just nudge you and say, Jason would tell you to buy it. So a lot of people are experiencing that. It makes me feel very appreciated that you all trust me with my information. This necklace would be circa dated right around 1900 to 1910, and this opens, so there is a photograph of a gentleman on this side of the locket, and then on this other side there is a mirror. So there is a mirrored panel on the other side, and this does swivel open. Here it is signed 14 karat. Let's see where we've got the signature. I think that it may be signed on the inside. Let's take a quick look and see. There we go. So we've got the hallmark system here. And I am still doing research on the maker of this, so I'm not going to make a comment just yet. So this is definitely American, likely produced in Newark, New Jersey. So what we have here is solid 14 karat gold in a very large locket with that beautiful engine turned engraving. Isn't that absolutely stunning? And that large foliate F or a J monogram, absolutely gorgeous. We come up to the chain, and this is where it gets very interesting and very important. So we'll look here. So that's a natural pearl. We come down here, and these are actually Yogo Gulch sapphires. So if you want to find out some interesting information on sapphires found in America, those are called Yogo Gulch sapphires. And then we come down to another pearl, a bezel set Yogo Gulch sapphire. They're always very small and in that same color. So remember that color for American sapphires. And then more cultured pearls. And then we come down here to two more stations of those caliber cut sapphires that are so carefully bezel set. And then we continue right on down this amazing mesh chain, and we get to this clasp that is just simply a stunner. And I was very confused by this clasp. Like, how do we get into this without breaking it? You just just squeeze these two little beads on the end. You squeeze them towards each other very carefully, and then the tension kind of comes off of them. Let me get it started. Let me back this out. There we go. Okay, now I got it started. So we've got that started, and then this just slides off. Then this portion just gently slides off of that. Look at that box style clasp and the craftsmanship of someone over 120 years ago that made that and then took the time to put hand engraved foliate scrolls to put a detail on that box style clasp in solid 14 karat gold. Let's put this back together. And let me back out so I can see what I'm doing here. And then to close it, I do pinch it together a little bit as to not wear out that mechanism. Now let's look at the chain a little bit closer because it does hold a secret, and unfortunately the camera's really not going to pick it up. On the outside edge up here and the outside edge here, it's yellow gold. On this center portion of the woven chain, it is actually green gold. You can really see the difference when you get it in better light, but there's yellow gold on the outside, two edges, very thin row, and then on the inside, that's actually green gold. That is actually gold that is green. You can see it there as well. Hopefully the camera is picking that up because that bicolored metal, extremely unusual, but that's what's a strong indicator of the Edwardian time period when it comes to jewelry, being solid 14 karat gold, and in this condition with the Yogo Gulch sapphires and the pearls in this Y style drop. Look at how elegant. So look at this. Let me take this off. And then there's the little secret down in the bottom. Let's just disconnect this right now and keep the locket safe. Let's see here. There we go. Got that off safely. We'll leave that here. And then let's go back and take a look again. Look how beautiful and how elegant that is. I wish I could show you this like full screen, but that's a very important 14 karat gold necklace. It is signed by the producer. Let's see here. Let's get in on this. So there is the 14 karat mark. And then I thought this was Grissom and Bippert, but I don't think it is, and I don't want to make a comment on that just yet. I should look this maker's mark up, and I should probably put that in the description. But there is the maker's mark right there. It's almost like a harp in a way, 14 karat, and then there's that mark there. I'll do some additional research on that mark. I'll have to look it up, but I'm usually very familiar with the marks, but it's been long days and long nights. But green gold on the inside, yellow gold on the outside. If that came across my desk at the auction house, I would have instantly said, value-wise, with the pendant and the chain between $5,000 and $6,000. These are very rare survivors, both of them, and to have survived together. And then there's a very interesting story as to how I acquired this necklace and pendant. It's a very long story. Let's just say I had to beg to own them. That's all I will say. And there was quite a fight for them. And then, of course, I got very lucky after let's just say it wasn't for sale, and then all of a sudden and then it came back to me. Let's say I lost it and then it came back to me, and it was one of the small victories of auctions, let's say that. But you can kind of see now that green gold tone, and maybe if we could put the yellow next to it, you can see that's much more green on the inside. So I regret if I spent too long on that, but boy, is that important. And it's such a beautiful Y-style drop necklace with Yogo Gulch sapphires, 14 karat gold, seed pearl, and right at the turn of the last century, placing it right in the heart of the early 20th century. These are pearls, and I did my research on these. Let me straighten this out because, of course, they always get jumbled. And thank you to Pinky, wherever you are, Pinky, in that thing we call stars on the sky. Pinky, thank you for keeping my jewelry safe with your hand-embroidered, your beautifully hand-embroidered silk handkerchief. I really appreciate you, Pinky. And I look forward to maybe meeting you someday, when I pass. So we've got this, let's see, we've got this long rope of pearls. It is 78 inches long, 78 inches long of a single rope of the tiniest, most beautiful natural pearls, and knotted in between each. These are only 3 millimeters per pearl. 3 millimeters per pearl, and 78 inches long. Absolutely incredible. And you might say to yourself, well, why would you consider these more Edwardian? Why would you consider these more in the Edwardian time period? Because of the platinum and diamond clasp. Because of this beautiful platinum and diamond clasp. I would say these could definitely hedge into the 1920s and into the 1930s because of that extremely long flapper length. But these pearls are extremely unusual to have that many, I've never counted them, but to have that many 3 millimeter pearls, and then to be able to construct a 78-inch long strand that, keeps on going and going and going. Look at how absolutely stunning for a seed pearl necklace. I have never in my now 30 years in the business, I have never seen one of these in real life. They are extremely unusual, extremely rare, and very sought after commodity in the pearl world and also in the antique and vintage jewelry world. On such a necklace, you would struggle to find it at any price these days. And they are such the creamy and white color. They don't lean yellow. They don't lean champagne. They are truly white and absolutely so precious to have such a long strand. I think I have taken up enough of your time today. I want to wish you a happy Saturday. I will definitely be back tomorrow with another video. And I just have to thank you again so much for joining in. Your kindness to me and your interest in my channel is absolutely appreciated. I want you to know how much it means to me to be so widely accepted. Please stay tuned to future videos. And if you haven't seen my older videos, please go back and scroll through my library and check out some of my earlier videos. They are always jam-packed with a lot of information, some humor from time to time. And then also, I want to inspire you to get out and find these treasures. Go to the thrift stores, go to storage unit auctions, go to estate sales. Just do it because look at the things that you can find. This and a platinum and diamond ring. These things are out there. So get out and take a look. I love you so much. I want to thank you again, and I love you because I do.